It is Monday, October 4th, 2021. It's about 6:30 a.m. I'm heading into work. I got a flap today in the OR. It's about 9:30 a.m. now, and I'm set up for my case. Again, just waiting for my part to start. I will take a minute and say that even though I've set up the OR focus mode on iOS 15, I have not remembered to turn it on very often. So that's a bit of a fail. Focus modes are only good if they're active, right? So the driving focus mode, because that's automatic, it's nice. You won't forget to set it. But the other focus modes, they can be pretty hit and miss, because it's very easy to forget that they're there and not set them. And unlike many other situations where if you get a notification, you might be like, oh yeah, I should turn on that focus mode, and you go and turn it on. I can't do that in the middle of a surgery. So anyway, I'll see if I can remember to turn it on today. I was looking over the last vlog that I posted. That was mostly shot on the Sony Rx0 Mark II, and I think the image looks pretty nice. It's got good detail and good sharpness, but I mentioned that I had issues with the color, the white balance, but what I did was I just transferred the files over to my iPad, and then hit edit, and then just hit the auto button and let Apple work its own sort of magic and fix the color science, and it turned out pretty good. I think by doing that, you can match the footage from the Rx0 to your iPhone footage pretty easily. So that's not bad. I mean, it's still an extra step, when you do that kind of edit. The phone or your iPad still has to render that video, so it adds an extra step, but it's not all doom and gloom. You can actually fix the color. What I will say though is that the dynamic range on the Sony Rx0 Mark II is not like the iPhone, because it's a fairly straightforward camera. It only uses ISO, aperture, and shutter speed to adjust for the exposure, right? And so in situations where there's a wide dynamic range, for example, if there's a window, right, in a shot, and you're indoors, it has a hard time getting both properly exposed. This is in comparison to the iPhone, which uses Smart HDR, so uses multiple images of different exposures and then intelligently blends them so you can get both well exposed. So in terms of dynamic range, dedicated cameras like the Rx0, they just can't compete with the iPhone. Now, of course, the iPhone uses computational photography, computational videography, and so it's not perfect, right? You do see artifacting. As the scene changes, you can see it's kind of flashing in the highlights, and as it kind of struggles to deal with the changes in exposure. It's not perfect, but as for static shots like this, right, the iPhone actually outperforms a dedicated camera. Now, one thing that I will say is that the iPhone tends to have wandering white balance, which I find super annoying. Now you can lock it, you can lock the focus, you can lock the exposure, and it doesn't tell you, but it will also lock the white balance. But like most of the time, we don't want to do that. We want it to be on more or less full auto. Uh, but that white balance wanders a lot on the iPhone, and I don't love that about the iPhone. Like if I lift my hand or turn my face over, you see huge changes in white balance. I don't love that about the iPhone footage. So yeah, so far nothing's perfect, but you know, I'm not shooting a movie here. I'm just shooting a vlog. It doesn't have to be perfect. It is now about 6:30 p.m. and I just got done in the operating room. So I ended up doing an ALT free flap today for a laryngectomy defect, and that's it. I'm going to head home now. So I forgot to use the OR focus mode all day today. So that's good. It's October 5th, 2021, and it is about 6:30 a.m. It's very dark and foggy out today. All right, it is an OR day for me, at least in the morning, and then I have a massive clinic in the afternoon. All right, it is 4:30 p.m. and I finished my surgery in the morning and my afternoon clinic. But as it turns out, I am on call today, and I guess we're covering trauma today. So there is a trauma case that will need to go to the OR, and that will probably happen sometime tonight. I'm just waiting for time to go ahead. So that's it. That's what we're waiting on right now. Well, as it turns out, there are no OR availabilities tonight, so my trauma case is being rolled over until tomorrow morning. It is Wednesday, October 6th, 2021. It is about 6:30 a.m. and I am headed into work. We got grand rounds this morning. I'm supposed to have admin time, but like I said, I have a trauma case that was supposed to go last night, but got rolled to this morning. So I should be operating pretty much most or all of this morning. And then I have an afternoon clinic. So I actually have another case this morning. It's a neck and spine infection. But that's going to be a combined case with ortho spine, and so they're actually probably going to be doing the majority of that case. So my contribution should be fairly minimal for that one. All right, it's about 4:30 p.m. now, and I'm finished my surgeries and clinic, and I'm gonna head home. So I have been invited to speak at a panel for my alma mater tonight. It'll be done via Zoom, something like that. I can't go on looking like this, so I'm gonna shave now. You know what? It's actually been I'd say at least a week now since I've contacted Insta360 about the issue with exporting footage from the original Go, and sadly, there hasn't been an app update, which is pretty disappointing and unusual because you know, that Insta360 Go is I don't even carry it around anymore because I literally cannot use it. It'll record footage, but it has to pass through the app. I have to export it to be able to use any of that footage, and so it's pretty much a broken camera at this point. Now, some of you might be saying, well, can't you use a desktop app? The desktop app has actually never worked for me. I've been able to get the footage, the INSV files off of the Insta360 Go and onto my computer, but the Studio app on the desktop has never worked. It has never been able to open any of those files, and I've tried it on 2 different laptops. So I don't know. That desktop app has never worked for me, and so what's more, I don't really want I don't want to involve a computer in my workflow. I really do want it to be strictly on my iPhone and my iPad, and because the app no longer works, that camera is now completely unusable, which is a shame. It is Thursday, October 7th, 2021. It is about 6:30 a.m. and I am headed into work. Oh, I got another big flap case again today. I am on the resection side today, not the recon side. All right, it is now about 6:30 p.m. and we are done in the OR. We did a big flap case that went pretty well. It was also with virtual surgical planning. Everything went pretty smoothly. So yeah, I'm gonna head home now.